It's a big deal.
I understand that.
Someone's...
Oh, Jesus Christ.
How many times did you shoot the gun?
Once.
Just once?
That I called them racial slurs, that I called them slaves, and that's never happened. I mean, when she said, "Oh, I want to stop already, stop lying," you know, just to me, it was just an enormous amount of pounding, screaming, yelling, and you know, I felt like she was going to come through that door. Like, I'm going to make sure you get. I'm going to make sure that you know. And I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Has this person ever shown you a weapon or anything like that?
No.
You haven't really seemed remorseful for today, at least, for what had happened.
Oh God.
On the night of Friday, June 2nd, 2023, at 8:54 p.m., officers from the Marion County Sheriff's Office received a 911 call from 58-year-old Susan, who lived in Ocala, Florida. She told dispatch that children from the neighborhood were trespassing on her property, and one of them had even threatened to beat her. But this wasn't the first time deputies had dealt with Susan. By then, she had already called law enforcement 6 times that year and repeatedly complained about the children in the neighborhood. Only this time, it was going to become the center of a serious criminal investigation. The following presentation contains material that some viewers may find disturbing. The case files and recordings shown here were obtained through official Freedom of Information Act requests submitted directly to the police department and may include previously unseen footage. Viewer discretion is advised. Just about 2 minutes into the first call, she called again and said that she fired a shot from the inside at the door. Deputy Stringer was the first to arrive at the scene. Just as he entered the apartment complex, he found a woman lying in the grass in front of a building. She had a gunshot wound to the upper right side of her chest, and her pulse was already growing faint. The woman was identified as 35-year-old Ajiki. Deputies immediately began life-saving efforts at the scene before she was rushed to the hospital, but despite their efforts, at 9:33 p.m., she was pronounced dead. Upon knocking, Susan calmly walked out the door without resistance. She was taken into custody and a firearm was recovered from her bedroom.
I'm sorry to keep you waiting so long. We just had a lot that we had to sort through before we could come and talk to you. So again, I'm Detective Stitt. I'm an investigator here with the Sheriff's Office. Do you know reason why we're...
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Did the deputies put handcuffs on you or anything with it? Because there's a lot of things going on, and we're trying to sort through the moving pieces to try to figure out what happened. Mm-hmm. So naturally, they want to secure
Understood.
the scene, and that under that circumstance, it meant to handcuff you. Mm-hmm. So we're working this investigation. And at this point, you're not free to leave, so I have to make you aware of your rights, before we talk. So I have to read this to you.
Susan was brought into the interrogation room for questioning and was informed of her Miranda rights before asking about what happened.
So the reason I'm trying to clarify all the events that happened tonight and to try to, because really I only have, statements from people that were out there. And I would like to get your side of things and try to understand what exactly happened tonight, or last night now, I guess it is.
Good gravy. Basically, the neighbors were out there screaming, yelling. The kids were running back and forth. I had a miserable headache, went inside, laid down. They finally got quiet. I came outside, and the 3 boys were there. I'm like, guys, you're trespassing. Come on, out of here. And he's like, I want this, and I want that, and you, and this. I'm like, oh, okay, little big kids, because they're all really young. And
so you say you came out and they were...
I wanted to check my truck. Every time I had my truck on one side, the kids would throw the balls and hit the truck.
Okay.
So I moved the truck to the other side, then they moved themselves to the other side, and they keep just,
just antagonizing you.
Oh, God, horribly.
Okay, so when you said that you came outside and they were there, the 3 boys were there, where were they at?
Right in front of, that little cove that's
like
there.
The privacy fence?
They were right there.
Okay.
Right in front.
Inside the privacy fence, like on your patio or
no,
outside?
they were just right outside.
Okay.
And I'm like, guys, come on, leave. Because I wanted to check the truck and everything. And then they were like, I'm going to tell my mom. I'm like, go tell your mom. I don't care, And
have you had problems with them before?
Oh my God, yes. And they've been harassing me last week. They came out they were actually in the vestibule. area. And they were like, wake up, wake up. I was watching TV. I'm like, really, seriously? Because, you know, after a nice long shift, that's just when I want to hear these little run.
How long have you lived there?
3 years.
3 years? Okay. And how long have you been having problems with them?
Like 2 years.
2 years? So they were being obnoxious out there tonight, and they finally got quiet, but then you go outside and the three of them are out there?
Yeah, and I didn't want to go any further because he's like, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you. I'm like, what in the world?
Who said that?
H.I.'s kids.
Okay. So who's it?
H.I., I think her name is.
Okay.
She actually had thrown a sign at me before. She picked up the no trespassing sign and just threw it at me. She's like, here, take your sign. I'm like, it's not mine, it's Charles. You know, he doesn't want you guys here. So it's just, you know, she's been in my mailboxes. She sends the kids in the mailboxes.
When did she throw a sign at you?
I want to say last year, just after I had my neck fused. I'm like, oh, good gravy.
What kind of sign? Like one of the ones you buy at the store, like a plastic, like on the
It was
fence?
a metal sign with a little metal, like a real estate sign. But it had no trespassing, so it was about that by that. And
Is it the same one that was out there tonight, or is it different? Okay.
They stole that sign.
So what happened tonight that led to the conclusion that...
Well, I'm like, kids, go home. So they go home, and then all of a sudden she comes out, and she is just banging on my door. I'm like, go away. I'm not dealing with you tonight. And then she started banging so hard, everything started shaking. And I'm like, you really need to leave. And she's, I'm going to kill you. And she's just banging away. You know, and I'm like, oh, this is crazy. And since she has actually harmed me, I'm like, this just keeps getting worse and worse. I'm like, I don't know what to do with her. And she banged so hard, it looked like my door was going to fly off. And I panicked. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's really going to kill me this time, you know. And so I don't even actually remember picking up the gun. I just remember shooting.
Where do you keep the gun usually?
It's in my bedroom.
That's where you keep it? Like
keep
in a cabinet or something, or just like...
It's just, I actually keep it in the trash can.
Okay.
Next to the bed.
I know nobody would look in there probably, right?
You know, and I didn't think about it, and I'm like, oh my God, and I just started panicking. I really feared for my life. I mean, honest to God, I was like, oh Jesus Christ, I'm a nervous wreck. You know, I'm not supposed to be getting nervous or anything like this because I have an aneurysm on my left kidney artery. And so they're like, just you're supposed to stay calm, you're not supposed to do anything. And this woman just keeps antagonizing me. She's got the kids calling me. I go out, they're like, hey, Karen. I'm like, I have a doctoral degree. Do not talk to me like I am one of your peers.
So they don't really have any respect for
No
her.
respect.
Yeah. So AJ, she came to your door.
Oh, yeah.
And she was
pounding on it. I was like, what the hell? My cats went flinging.
What was she saying? Was she saying anything?
You don't talk to my sons. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, you know? And I was like in tears. I'm like shaking, and I'm like, oh my God. And I thought she had gone away, and then she starts banging again. I'm like, oh.
Did she, like, try to come inside?
She was trying as hard as she could.
What do you mean?
That door was moving. And I'm like, hold on. You know,
like, did she try the door handle, or was she just beating on it to try to push it in, or what?
She was just, you know, just trying to push it in, and I was like, oh my God.
You just let you know it's back. Side.
Okay. Did you see who was out there at that time?
I just knew it was HX by her voice, because she's screamed at me before, you know, and I'm like, oh, great, it's her again, you know. And I just, like I said, I just panicked, and I just got so frightened. I was like, oh my God, she's really going to do it this time. She's going to kill me.
Were you still on the phone with 911 when you fired the gun?
No. I thought that the kids went, and I was like, all right, I'll go check my truck in the morning. I didn't even leave, you know, I just went back in the house and locked the doors.
So, but you had already contacted 911.
Yeah.
Did they advise you that someone was responding?
Yes,
an officer was responding?
They said someone's coming out, and they said lock the doors, you know, make sure you don't go outside. I'm like, okay, you know, usual.
Okay. And where were you at when she was pounding on the door? Were you?
I was actually in the bathroom.
You were in the bathroom. I haven't been inside, so how does it, like when you go in through the front door?
It's all open.
Okay.
So you can see kind of the bathroom right from the front door.
Okay.
So.
And you were still able to hear her?
Oh, yeah.
She was able to hear you, that you know, as far as you know?
I don't know if she was able to hear me. I mean, she was just screaming for all she was worth. I'm like, stop, 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 you know, and she wouldn't stop. And just like, oh dear God.
What else was she saying besides what you've told me? Was she saying anything else?
She was just, some of it was unintelligible.
Okay.
So she was just ranting.
As Susan recalled the events of that night, she conveniently left out some important details. Ajiki's 12-year-old son, Isaac, reported that the dispute actually started over an iPad. He told the officers he was playing basketball at a neighboring residence while his little brother, Israel, was playing with other kids at the field of incident. Israel forgot his iPad on the field, and Susan found it and picked it up. When Israel requested it back, Susan refused to hand it over to Israel. Instead, she began swinging her umbrella and threw roller skates at him. Israel confirmed these events and said one of the skates hit his toe. When Israel ran to Isaac, he told him to go tell their mother, Ajiki. As a result, Ajiki was on Susan's door within minutes to confront her for hitting her child. Inside, Susan panicked and shot a fire through the door, which hit Ajiki on the upper right chest. Ajiki ran backwards while attempting to make a 911 call, but the wound proved to be fatal and she collapsed beneath the oak tree.
So prior to her coming over there and banging on your door, because we talked to a lot of people that were out there at the time, and there was some statements given to us that you had taken a tablet or picked up a tablet that was
No,
on
sir,
the ground?
absolutely not, no.
Okay.
That child, like the other day, he said to me, I'm going to go tell my mom that you called me a slave. I'm like, what? He came over with a rake and he was pounding everything with the rake. I'm like, really? Seriously? So I don't know what's going on with that child.
Mm-hmm.
So
And which child is that you're talking about?
It's on the video. If you give me my phone, I'll show you which child it is. I don't know by names.
Is it one of the older ones?
Yeah.
Okay. And what was the deal with the roller skate? Because again, we talked to a lot of people who were outside and kind of witnessed some of
They
this.
keep leaving all their toys around. The other day, I almost killed myself going out. I had an early morning doctor's appointment, and I didn't see the roller skate, and I almost killed myself. And I'm like, guys, stop already. This is not your garbage yard.
Mm-hmm.
And the kid's got his roller skates there, and I'm like, really, take your roller skates. And I threw the roller skates. I'm like, go fetch them. Just enough. Because
Did you throw it at them?
Oh,
or?
God, no.
Okay.
No, I just
And what is
threw-
the thing about the umbrella? You had an umbrella?
I thought it was raining before, and I walked out and it wasn't raining. I'm like, okay. So
Okay. And you swung it at them or so, or one of them?
I wasn't even close. I was still inside the vestibule. So
How can we explain that then with people saying, like multiple people that weren't talking to each other, that if they were saying that that's what they saw?
I don't know. Maybe I did step out and I'm like, guys, go away, but I would never touch them.
Okay. Maybe swat at them with it, but not.
Exactly.
Okay.
If I did it was probably because I was just so, come on.
Okay. But I know at least if you did, but is that what happened? I mean, we got to kind of get specific about this because it's a big deal.
I understand. But
Someone's dead.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So that's why I say it's important to be specific and honest about everything. Okay.
It was only because she was pounding at my door, and I, honest to God, thought she was going to come in.
Okay. So we have over in our communication center, they're putting together, because all the calls that come into 911 are audio recorded, and there were several people even before. So there's open lines. We're recording and getting audio of exactly what's being said. Not to mention if your camera's captured anything. Okay. So that's why I'm asking you before we go through that, and if something is different than what you're telling me, we need to clear that up now, because if it, you know what I mean, if the evidence shows something different than what you're saying, it doesn't look good, and I want to be open and honest with you.
I just know that she was pounding and pounding on the door and scaring the shit out of me.
Okay.
Yeah.
But is there any reason why, if we reviewed that evidence, she wasn't saying, I'm going to kill you?
That's what I heard.
Okay.
I mean, that's what I honest to God heard. You know, it's just what I heard.
Okay. Did you ever look out the door to see? And I know you said you kind of recognized her voice. So.
I never looked out the door.
Okay.
I was afraid to get to my door, to be brutally honest. I mean, I was like, oh my gosh, she's gonna bust it in and just gonna...
Where were you standing when you shot the gun? And you said you shot the gun
Oh yeah.
through the door?
Yeah, through the
Okay.
door. I just panicked. It was probably by the kitchen table somewhere.
Okay, by the kitchen table.
Mm-hmm.
And how many times did you shoot the gun?
Once.
Just once? Okay. And after you fired the round, what did you do?
She said, ow, and I'm like, oh my God, I hit her. It just, clicked, I hit her. I'm like, Jesus Christ. And I thought I just, nicked something.
Mm-hmm.
I never ever.
And what did you go out there?
No.
You didn't go out there?
No.
Did you call 911 back?
Yes, I did call 911.
Okay. And what did you say?
And I said, she was pounding on my door and I shot my gun. I'm pretty sure that's what I said.
Okay.
And she was threatening me and she was saying, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you. So.
It's significant that the detective brought up the 911 call because when they went back and listened to all the calls made that night, they noticed there was no mention of a possible life-threatening encounter. In Susan's own 911 call, she simply said that someone was trying to break down her door, so she had to shoot her through the door. The other 5 calls were from the neighborhood, who reported a shooting incident. Sitting in the interrogation room, she was now contradicting her own statements, claiming she didn't want to shoot directly at Ajiki and that she was there to kill her.
What specific words do you recall that she said?
I just remember her saying, don't talk to my sons that way and I'm going to kill you. I mean, that's what I heard. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ.
And you're sure when you were on the phone with 911, you told them that she said that?
I'm almost positive.
Yeah, I mean, if someone was, the reason why I ask is because, like, if someone, let's say I'm not a police officer, or, right, and I'm just at my house and someone's, like, beating on my door saying, I'm going to kill you or I'm going to kill you, oh my God, they're banging on my door, they're saying they're going to kill me. Like, that's a very fear-provoking statement when if you're in a legitimate fear that someone's going to come through your door and kill you if you're already on the phone.
I wasn't on the phone, though. I was in the bathroom when she started.
You weren't on the phone with 911?
No, I was already off the phone with 911.
Okay, so she had already maybe made that statement before you even called.
Oh, the second time?
Anytime.
I was going to say the second time, when I called, she had already said it.
Okay.
So.
But the second time you called was after you had fired the
Yes.
gun? Okay. So.
And maybe I misunderstood because what my understanding was before I had to walk out of the room is that when she was knocking on your door,
It wasn't a knock.
the way
Sorry.
I understand, you said that it got worse. Like so I'm starting off with
No,
and then we're gonna get
No,
harder.
she started off banging on that door. I mean, it was,
But during that initial time is when you had said before that she had made the statement that she was going to kill you.
Yes.
Okay.
Your door is kind of like, probably not wood or whatever, but you can't really see through it. There's no windows or anything like that. And I know your sliding door is a little further over, but something that he mentioned, as far as our training, when we have to go through making a judgment decision where we might have to pull the trigger, we have to know what we're firing at is a deadly threat, or what we recognize as a deadly threat. So my question is, how do you know what you're firing at when you're firing through a door that you can't see through, when you don't know if there's also a child outside standing there? Or, I mean, basically I'm asking you, what were you aiming at and what were you intending to do when you fired that gun?
I was just fearful of my life. And I was just like, go away, go away. That's all I could think of, is just get out of the situation, just go away already. And
But when you fire through a door that's closed, was it locked?
yes, it was locked.
Okay. And, you said you're in the bathroom, which I understand you said it's kind of an open floor concept in there. So it's kind of open. but I'm assuming there's walls around the bathroom, you've got a door, you can close it. And I'm not saying that, I mean, you're within your right, you're in your house, you don't have to do that, but if I'm looking at a door that's secured and whether someone's banging on it or not, law enforcement's already on the way. At what point do you,
The door is broken.
the door's broken?
At that whole side panel, people have, she's pounded on it more than once, and he fixed it, but when everything started rattling so much, I was like, oh my God, she's gonna bust through it,
Okay.
So it's broken right now, or it was broken before and then the landlord fixed it?
He didn't cherry-rigged it. He put screws through it so that the centerpiece was supposed to stay in there, but she was pounding it so hard. I mean, everything was just rattling, and I'm like, oh my God, it sounded like a horse kick. It was so loud.
One thing that I think my partner was trying to get at, and I don't know that I actually heard an answer to the question, when you're inside the house and she's on the other side of a door that you can't see through and she's pounding on the door, you make the conscious decision to aim your gun at the door and fire one round, right? Just one round?
Yes.
Fire one round. Were you trying to hit her, or were you trying to scare her off? Were you trying to make a loud noise to say like, hey, I got a gun, get away from my door? Or were you
I was never intending to hit her. I just thought, I thought I hit really high, I was just like, kind of, it's the first time I ever really used it where I was, like...
Not on a paper target.
Exactly. I was like, oh my God. So I was shaking. I mean, I was just so distraught at that point in time. I'm like, oh my God, she's really going to freaking come to my house. And I was just like, all I could think is go away, go away, go away, go away.
Did you mean to, were you aiming for the door?
I just fired the gun. Because all I could think of is I felt like I was in mortal danger. I mean, it's just how I felt.
And what made you, I mean, I know someone's banging on the door, you feel like they could get in, but at that point where nobody had breached or been able to get through that secure door, what made you feel like that was the time that you needed to do that?
I usually have a chair propped up against the door at night.
Okay.
And I didn't have the chair up there, and I didn't have the chain on the door either. So just the one lock was locked. I'm like, oh shit, of all the times that I never...
But before you decided to pull that trigger, you didn't think to try to put the...
I wasn't going near the door because she was actually physically moving the door. Like you could see the door moving. I'm like, oh dear God.
So the thing is, and again, I can 100% sympathize with being fed up with that kind of harassment and that kind of disrespect. But also someone lost their life last night, right? And she has children, and as much of a pain in the butt that they can be, they're not going to have a mother now, okay?
I understand that, and that makes me sick.
And that is, as a parent, I think is like the ultimate reason that we need complete honesty. And I think what really your intentions were maybe not to kill her, but I think you would just reach that level that we've all gotten to where we can really make a bad decision where it builds up over time and you can't take it anymore. And I think that you shot at her because you were fed up and you were over it.
No.
Is that?
No.
No?
I absolutely feared for my life.
So this
was an absolute, it's either me or her. I mean, it's just like, I'm like, holy.
Did you see her with a gun or another weapon or anything like
But
that?
I don't know what she had on the outside. When my lights were off, so she came up, it was dark out. And I'm like, great, now she's pounding on my door. Now she's scaring the crap out of me. Now my door's moving, and I didn't have it properly secured. And the next thing I thought she was going to be in my house, killing me. I mean, that's honest to God what I felt. It's not like, I'm fed up or anything. This was a real fear.
But when we first started talking, you said you made it very clear to the 911 call taker that she was threatening to kill you.
Yes, absolutely.
And if that's not on the recording, Is there any reason why that's not on the recording?
I have no idea. I'm pretty sure I said it. So.
Are you just pretty sure she said it as well? That she
Oh,
was
no,
gonna do it?
absolutely, she said it.
Okay.
From Susan's statements, it became clear that this wasn't the first time she and Ajiki had crossed paths. According to Susan, one incident happened in February 2022 when Ajika came to her house and accused her of harassing her children. Susan claimed that Ajiki, whom she described as a large woman, ripped a no trespassing sign out of the ground and threw it at her, striking her in the leg. As expected, Susan called the police. But when officers looked into the incident, they found no evidence to support her claim that Ajika had hit her. She also brought up another encounter on April 17, 2023, when she accused Ajika of going through her mailbox. But despite these previous disputes, Susan acknowledged that in neither incident did Ajika display a weapon or firearm, nor was there any evidence suggesting she was trying to harm or kill her.
Well, from the information I got, she was angry and pounding because she believed that you had either struck or attempted to strike one of her kids with an umbrella and threw roller skates. And I'm not, again, I know how kids can be, they're not always very truthful about things. But I didn't have any information provided me out there. And of course, we're still going through evidence, and that's an ongoing thing. But nothing that says that she threatened to kill you or that was doing anything more than trying to get you to come to the door. That she wanted you to open the door.
Why would I open my door to this woman? When she has
I wouldn't either. I
when
get
she
it.
has thrown things at me, when
Right.
she has followed me a foot behind me, I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
Right.
I mean, she's literally come up. We had words about 2 months ago, and I walked away. I said, "All right, whatever." And I said, "I'm sorry," just because I wanted to diffuse it, de-escalate everything. I'm walking away, and she's literally walking 1 foot behind me, like she was, I said, "Oh my God, she's going to pound me into the ground."
So, yeah, I mean, that's my question, though, is if she wasn't trying to come in, she's just trying to get, and again, I wouldn't come to the door either. If you're beating on my door, wanting to cause something, I'm not answering it. But that's different than trying to bust the door down.
To me, she was
And you
trying to
said that
bust
the door's
door.
already broken, so
Yes.
how hard would it have been for her, because she's kind of a big girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
How hard would it have been for her to break that door knowing your home? You know your door better than I do,
Mm-hmm.
but if it's already,
Well, we did put the extra long deadbolt in and everything. I did have the deadbolt on, so I didn't know how long the door was going to
see,
hold up.
and that's why I'm asking is
So-
because at first it's broken and now it's super secure with an extra long deadbolt.
No, I'm just
And that's
saying that we did put but if you look at it, everything's crumbling. I mean, if you look at the door, things are crumbling. I'm like, oh my God, my landlord is 76 years old, and he jerry-rigged it. Literally jerry-rigged it. And I'm like, oh my God. So it's not, I don't feel secure. Every night I stick a chair under that door to keep, because I feel like someone's gonna break it in.
When did you install the new deadbolt, or did he did that? Someone else did it?
Yeah, Charles did it.
Okay. How long ago was that?
He just, I'm trying to think when the hell he did it. A few months ago.
And what was the reason for that?
She had pounded on the door once before, and kind of everything that he had fixed previously, she had cracked apart. And I'm like, oh God. Like I said, it's not the first time.
What did she pound on the door for last time? What happened with that?
I think I called her kid an idiot or something like that. And like, you see the signs, stop coming over here. And he's like, I can do anything I want. I could just go in. And I'm like, oh my God. It's just.
And what did she do that time? She beat on the door and
She beat on the door and like, go away.
did you call the police then?
I believe I called the police, and this when, she heard me calling the police, then she went away.
She went away. What was she trying to get you? Was she that
I
time?
have no idea. I have no idea what this woman is thinking. I mean, to me, she's just terrifying at this point in time. I just thought she is not mentally stable, and, every time something happens, oh, it's my children, they're 100% little angels, and of course, you're demonized. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
But was she trying to get in that time, or was she just beating on the door and ranting and raving about you calling her son an idiot?
I think she was ranting and raving about me calling him an idiot.
Okay.
And I'm like, all right, whatever, go away, you bother me.
Okay.
But at that point in time, I had all the locks on, I had the chair up,
Did you get your gun that time?
No. I didn't feel, she wasn't as forceful that time as, this time was, like, oh my God.
And do you think the reason was because she believed that you threw something at her kids?
I don't know I have no idea what she was thinking.
Okay.
I can't even speculate. All I know is she's like, you screamed at my kids, or you said something to them, and then she's like, I'm going to kill you. I'm like, fine.
And if your camera does work, do you you're confident that any video would back you up, or and the reason I'm asking that is because this is the time, if there's any discrepancies, to clear that up now, and I'm just trying to be
I don't even know if
forthright
we're
with you
engaged.
on that. What's that?
I don't even know if we're engaged, because the last time she was there at night, I tried to play and nothing came up. So.
Okay. Did you ever know her to carry a weapon or anything?
Idea. But you can't tell who.
No, you never know. That's
I was gonna
right.
say,
We have kids out here running around with firearms and stuff. So, but I guess my question is, what is it that she did that made that an immediate threat to your life that you had to shoot when you did, or you were gonna be harmed at
I
that
thought she
second?
was coming right through that damn door. I mean, this guy was my witness. I thought that one was coming through.
What
that
made you
door.
think that she was coming?
Because everything was shaking. I mean, my mirror that was on the wall was shaking. I'm like, how do you shake a cement block house? I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. That's why I thought,
So she was just beating, like,
Oh, she was wild with it. I mean, she was bam, bam.
what is your door made out of? Is it like a metal or like
No
a,
idea.
not sure.
I have no idea. I just was like, oh, dear God, I thought I was going to get my,
How long do you think she was hitting the door?
no, I can't even speculate, because it could have been seconds. It could have been, when you get that fear response, and, she banged on it. I was in the bathroom, came out of the bathroom, and she was still banging on it. So I don't know, maybe a minute or two.
Okay. And you didn't try to call 911 back
But
at
my
that
phone
point?
wasn't there. I didn't know where I put my phone.
You don't remember where
No.
you put your phone?
And I was like, crap, I can't find my phone.
Okay. So you have an app on your phone that lets you review the video
Yes.
for your surveillance camera. Would you be willing to be able to let us look at that?
I don't have a phone.
Well, no, we have it in the
All right.
office
Okay.
over here, but
Yeah, got it.
okay. Let me see what condition the battery's in, and I'll be back in just a
Okay.
moment, okay? Thank you.
Susan's home had 2 security cameras, one pointed toward the patio and the other toward the parking lot. Unfortunately, neither camera captured the actual shooting. When detectives checked the footage, they noticed there were no recordings during the crucial minutes leading up to the shooting. At first, that seemed suspicious.
Does it normally capture things during the night? Like,
Just look at that one and see, but it usually just shows up as a dark screen.
which one?
The yesterday.
Okay.
But they eventually figured out what happened. The cameras were sitting behind glass windows, which made them struggle to see properly at night. Because of that, they failed to record any movement outside during that time. There was no evidence that any footage had been deleted. The cameras simply didn't capture what happened. So, with no video of the shooting, detectives had to rely on witness statements and the physical evidence at the scene. At that point, detectives paused the interrogation and transported Susan back to her place for further investigation. During this time, deputies went to collect witness statements from the neighbors. One of them, Patrice, told the officers that Susan was known in the neighborhood as the crazy lady. She used to scream at kids and call them racial slurs. She also reported that her children, between the ages of 1 and 11, had stopped playing outside within the last 2 weeks because Susan had threatened them. Another neighbor, London, recalled the events leading up to the shooting and told officers that while the children were playing outside, Susan was seen making offensive hand gestures to them. London also indicated that Susan had made racial statements in the past, calling the children black slaves. Another witness, Yeriel, also reported Susan attacking the children with an umbrella and skates, and said Ajiki was outside demanding entry and knocking hard before the shooting. In the aftermath of Susan's first interview, the case quickly spilled into the public. A protest formed outside the Marion County Judicial Center. Around 30 people gathered there and demanded Susan's arrest. The case also sparked a wider debate about Florida's Stand Your Ground law. This law allows a person to use deadly force if they believe they are facing an immediate threat and have no safe way to retreat. People were divided on whether this case met the standard. Some believed it was self-defense. Others saw it as an unjustified use of deadly force. After reviewing these accounts alongside the physical evidence, investigators brought Susan back in for another interview on June 6, 2023.
Okay. Scott, I'm trying to understand. I can know what happened to you this time. We just talked about that. I'm saying, has anything like this ever happened to you before, where someone was trying to break into the house and hurt you or something?
No, not like this.
No, nothing like that. Nothing like that's ever happened to you before. I just wanted to see if there was a similar experience. We talked about unreported. We talked about domestic violence. We talked about whenever you were robbed once of something by some men, and then there was something stolen out of a shed. Is that right, in New Jersey? Yes. Okay. But then we're talking about what happened there today. And this woman that she passed away, you said that you guys have yelled at each other 3 or 4 times in about a year and a half to 2 years. Is that right? Yes. And the last time she yelled at you a lot. Did you ever? I worked as a patrol deputy for years before becoming a detective. Did you guys ever get in like a fight in the street or anything like that? No, nothing like that.
You gotta be kidding me.
I'm
sorry.
I gotta ask. I guess I don't know you that well.
No.
Did she ever brandish a weapon or anything like that, or something?
The only thing she ever did is she picked up the no trespassing sign and threw it at me and hit me.
Okay. And I know that the police came out a lot of times. Did the police ever come out for that time when she threw the sign?
Yeah, and then everybody in the neighborhood said, oh, we didn't see anything.
Okay.
So it was a he said, she said, so they said they couldn't charge anything.
Sure.
I'm like, all right.
And obviously you have a firearm. I haven't had a chance to ask you about this. Now, is that a gun that you've had for years? You just had it for a couple of weeks? Help me understand that.
No, over a year.
Okay, over a year. And where do you normally keep that secured in the house?
That's usually next. It was in a garbage can next to my bed.
Okay. And is it like?
Now that was the Remington that you're talking about that you got over a year ago?
Yeah.
Okay, so when we were at the house, there was the other one, the 22, was a Ruger.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you had that firearm?
A few months.
Just a few months?
Yeah, not very long. And the only reason I did it is because it was so expensive to shoot the Remington.
Oh, the 380 rounds?
The 380,
expensive,
way more expensive. So I got the little plinker, just target practice and stuff like that.
Are you experienced with firearms? You got 2 guns, and it sounds like you have the little plinker, and you know about the price of ammo. Are you well versed with them?
I used to be terrified of firearms. And then a friend said, you really can't defend yourself. He said you should think about getting a gun.
Okay.
So,
when did you first get a gun? Was it or did you have other guns historically?
No, I never did.
Okay.
I first bought a 9mm, but it was just way too much gun for me, so I sold it. And then I got the little 380.
Okay. And did you go to any kind of training for those using guns, like going to the range, or tell me about that?
Went to the range, watched videos, all the other stuff, just self-educating, and I was going to go take a permit to carry course.
Sure.
And I didn't get around to it.
Yeah, okay. So you were self-training yourself, you had plans to do that in the future, but it didn't come to that.
Okay. Did she ever try to open that glass sliding door or open the door handle or anything like that, or was it just the pounding?
I just remember her pounding and pounding and pounding.
Okay. So you said that you kept the firearm in the trash can in the bedroom, so at some point, did you go?
Yes,
So you thought about it and said, I might need this, or?
absolutely. I mean, I got terrified. I mean, I was so terrified she was going to come in and kill me.
Okay, so you left the kitchen area?
Yes.
And that's when you went to your bedroom?
Yes,
Okay. Where was the other gun at that time, do you know?
I thought it was right there.
The Ruger?
I thought the Ruger was right there.
I mean, we found, yeah, it was, but you said that you used the 380, right?
Yeah.
When you fired the gun? Okay. Is there any reason why you chose that gun aside the other one? They were both loaded, right?
They were both loaded. I was just the one that picked up.
Okay, did you handle the other gun at all?
I don't remember.
Don't
I
remember.
honest to God don't remember.
Okay. Because the reason I asked is when we went in there, the 22 was actually on top of the 380. So, I'm just trying to figure out how it is that you went in there, took the 380, fired the 380, went back, and you would have put it back in there, but then the other gun was on top of it. So I'm just trying to figure out if maybe, you're just moving stuff around after things happened or something fell. I'm just trying to understand.
It may have fallen off the bed. I don't know. I just remember looking for my phone, and I just remember I put the gun back in. So, there's all kinds of papers in there, so it could have flip-flopped.
Okay, was there a spot you picked or something like that?
I just kind of, there was the door. I knew she was out the door. I shot the door.
So since the last time you and I talked, I went in the house, we, did the stuff inside the house as far as photographing, looking at where everything is at related to where the door is. And you said you had shot from the kitchen, so when you come in, it's like a
table.
Kitchen table?
The table that's there, the two seats with the table.
Okay.
That's where I shot from.
That's where you shot from. Okay. Like right next to it?
Yes.
Or like further back?
It was, I remember the table being there.
Okay. How were you holding the gun when you fired it?
Like
With
that.
2 hands?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you were initially in the kitchen when, you went to the restroom and then you were in the kitchen looking for your phone while she was pounding on the door. And you say that you believe it was between 2 and 5 minutes?
Yes.
Was that total time from when the first pounding started to the time that you fired the shot, 2 to 5 minutes? Or do you think it was shorter time than that or longer?
To me, it seemed like 2 to 5 minutes.
2 to 5 minutes
More,
total?
well, by the time I shot the weapon, at least 5 minutes.
Okay. Did she ever try to open that glass sliding door or open the door handle or anything like that, or was it just the pounding?
I just remember her pounding and pounding and pounding.
Okay. So you said that you kept the firearm in the trash can in the bedroom, so at some point, did you go?
Yes,
So you thought about it and said, I might need this, or?
absolutely. I mean, I got terrified. I mean, I was so terrified she was going to come in and kill me.
Okay, so you left the kitchen area?
Yes.
And that's when you went to your bedroom?
Yes,
Okay. Where was the other gun at that time, do you know?
I thought it was right there.
The Ruger?
I thought the Ruger was right there.
I mean, we found, yeah, it was, but you said that you used the 380, right?
Yeah.
When you fired the gun? Okay. Is there any reason why you chose that gun aside the other one? They were both loaded, right?
They were both loaded. I was just the one that picked up.
Okay, did you handle the other gun at all?
I don't remember.
Don't remember.
I honest to God don't remember.
Okay. Because the reason I asked is when we went in there, the 22 was actually on top of the 380. So, I'm just trying to figure out how it is that you went in there, took the 380, fired the 380, went back, and you would have put it back in there, but then the other gun was on top of it. So I'm just trying to figure out if maybe, you're just moving stuff around after things happened or something fell. I'm just trying to understand.
It may have fallen off the bed. I don't know. I just remember looking for my phone, and I just remember I put the gun back in. So, there's all kinds of papers in there, so it could have flip-flopped.
Is that an actual, do you use it for trash, or those important papers that were in
Those
there?
were papers that I keep.
Okay. All right. So you said it was about, let me ask you this, and maybe this can kind of help us get a better time frame. From the time that you called 911, these kids are on my property again, they're yelling, what happened that first 911 call? That time that you hung up with 911, how long before she showed up and she was pounding on the door after you hung up?
10 minutes.
10 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. So about 10 minutes after you disconnected and they said, hey, we have deputies on the way, 10 minutes after that is when she started pounding on
Yes.
your door. Okay. And you say anywhere, you believe from 2 to 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there, And I just want to be clear, 2 to 5 minutes from the first time she pounded to the time where you felt in danger enough to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Okay. And how many times, I know this is, how many times do you think she was hitting your door during that time frame that you believe is about 2 to 5 minutes?
She just kept pounding it. Just kept pounding it and pounding it.
Just
She was
more
screaming.
than 5, more than 50? Like,
God, it had to be, I don't know. I can't even speculate. I just remember her pounding and pounding and screaming and yelling.
okay. And did you call 911 immediately after?
As soon as I found my phone.
Okay. How much time do you think after you fired the shot?
A few seconds.
So within a
I'd say
minute?
within a
And you
minute, yes.
immediately called 911?
Yes.
Did you call anyone else before?
No.
Did you call anyone else after?
No, I don't think so, because you guys were here. I mean, you guys came right away,
Okay.
so.
Okay.
What's with the racial statements that everyone's saying that you made? I mean, have you ever used the N-word and they're using it against you? Have you said it in passing or something?
I have no idea. But it could have been I was speaking Hungarian and instead of English.
So you're native Hungarian? Is there?
My father was Hungarian, my mother was Polish, so we spoke mainly Hungarian in the household.
Okay. And is there, have you ever spoke Hungarian to these kids or anything like that?
Yeah, and they looked at me and they said, "Stop making up your language." I said, "Okay."
So let me ask you real quick. You know that we had your phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So a judge actually signed an order to allow us to go into the phone and look over certain things that would assist in trying to identify the time frames of things that happened. And during the interviews where we were out there talking to other people who live in the neighborhood, they told us that there's been times where you go out and either create video, like record
Yes.
with videos or take photographs of
Yes.
what the kids are doing
Yes.
in your area out there.
Yes.
So you know how anybody can have a phone or a device that's
Exactly.
recording. So you would imagine, I'm sure the kids have phones out in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them have tablets that record video. So when we talk to these people and we talk to them, they tell us something, but we have to kind of verify
Mm-hmm.
that. So we ask them the same questions. Do you have any video, audio, anything that would document as what you're saying is true? So when he's asking you questions like that, sometimes we have to ask questions that we already know the answers to, and it's not to try to trick someone. It's just to try to see how credible they are and how reliable their statements are. So when we ask them something that we already know the answer to, and if they answer us and it matches up, then some of the stuff that we're still trying to learn and put the pieces together to, we have more credibility and believe in that. Again, he was referring to some of the racial statements that have been alleged. Where does that come from? And like, is there something more? Like, did something happen in the past, or is that how you were raised, or is it just something because these kids are just always like
When I was 12 years
antagonizing
old,
you?
they're forever antagonizing me. When I was 12 years old, some girl in middle school thought I was some other girl. And it came down to where I was stuck in a phone booth, and at least 35 other people were around, all blacks. And so they ended up calling the police, and he had to disperse the crowd.
Okay, and what wound up happening? That, I mean, anything?
I had to leave school early every day. I couldn't be around. I couldn't do any extracurricular activities. I just had to be very careful at school.
Oh wow.
And so it's just, it was craziness.
So I'm sorry. How did that? I mean, you're kind of describing it. I could take a guess, but I mean, how did that make you feel towards your classmates? Did you have friends at that school?
Yes.
Okay. So you had people that you could confide to and be friends with, but you said that you had to be escorted to the bus or something like that? Or?
No, I left 5 minutes early every day.
You had to leave early every day. Okay. And how old were you when that happened?
12.
12. And I mean, it sounds like there's been some issues is that something that's caused problems with you for the rest of your life?
No.
No, that doesn't. Okay.
I don't believe so.
Okay. So we're just trying to figure out where some of these, we heard that you said the F word and the B word. These are what the kids are saying.
I definitely dropped F.
Okay. And
Definitely.
what are you saying the F word to?
Pick your
referring to stuff on the ground or
Yeah.
something. And when we say the B word, what are you referring to that? Who are you talking to? What are you saying when you use that language?
B word.
Yeah, which I'm assuming is, but I don't really know.
Okay.
Have you said that word to them?
Remember.
Or is it bastard? Possibly bastard?
I don't know, could have been either one.
Yeah.
Are those words that you've used when you're outside around the kids or something like that?
I guess if they were really annoying me, I may have let one slip.
Okay.
You know.
And how would they really annoy you? Like just
Screaming. They would scream.
the screaming, and that would maybe let one slip. Okay.
But the girls would do something so stupid. I've never seen anything like this before. They would go face to face with one another and see who could scream louder.
Yeah.
5 feet outside my door. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, why? I want to see who screams louder. I'm like, take it over to your house.
Sure. Okay. So Detective Stith has been talking to you about the timeline, okay? And some of the work we've done. Now, this is a picture that I drew. I am not an artist at all, but when I tell you some of the work we've done, we spoke to all the people over. This is your house, by the way. Okay, this is. We'll put an S for you. We spoke to everybody in these buildings. We spoke to them all in these buildings, and we talked to anybody that had cameras that would see different areas. These cameras, they hear things. We're able to hear audio. We're able to hear things like that. And everyone that we interviewed, I pretty much got the same, Detective Stith, I think we all got the same statement from every single person we interviewed. We lined up, well, we didn't line them up. These people were interviewed in different locations. Some of them were interviewed in different buildings, in different places. I interviewed them at different houses, and all these people provided me similar statements, okay? No one that provided these, now these people could hear her talking. Okay, because she was talking loudly. You said that you could hear it through the wall, and I can agree with that. Okay, she made a statement, something to the effect of, "Why'd you take my kid's iPad?" Okay, somebody heard her say that.
I never touched an iPad. I never saw the iPad. I don't know what this iPad is about.
A tablet or something like that?
Again, no tablet, no iPad, no electronics at all. It was never there, or at least I never saw it.
Okay.
So I have no idea.
Was she? Maybe she's wrong, but was she asking you about a tablet or accusing you of something with a tablet or an iPad? I don't know if it's an iPad or a tablet.
Could have.
She could have?
She could have.
Okay. You seem unsure of some of the stuff she's saying through the door. Did she say, you're not really sure if she said that?
She could have said it during her rants.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's saying these things. The thing is everything that we've learned so far, I have not learned of her ever saying to you that she wanted to get into the house. It sounded more like she wanted to talk to you outside of the house.
How do you want to talk to outside the house when you're banging and screaming?
Yeah.
That's not reasonable.
One of the people said that she said, "Come outside."
That's not, I'm sorry.
Come
That's
on.
not what?
It's not reasonable and prudent. I mean, you just don't, bang and expect someone to come out. Yeah, I think I'll come outside so you can,
Well, I know. I mean,
seriously.
What she's learned, what I'm learning, what these people said is that she was saying to come outside. She wanted to confront you about something. She wanted you to come outside. Do you remember her making statements and asking you to come out there and talk to her?
I honestly don't recall.
Okay, so you don't remember that, and you seem unsure about some of the statements she made about the tablet. No one that we've interviewed so far has made any statements about her saying that she wanted to kill you.
That's what I heard.
Okay.
Unfortunately for Susan, she made a small slip-up here. While explaining her actions, she used words like prudent and reasonable, which immediately caught the detective's attention. Those aren't the kinds of words most people naturally use in a stressful interview. Detectives began to suspect that Susan may have been reading up on Florida self-defense laws like Stand Your Ground, and was now trying to frame her actions as legally justified self-defense.
Her son, earlier in the night, before I called the police, I don't know how old he is, but he said, "I'm gonna make sure you get killed tonight."
Which son? She has two sons.
I know. I don't remember. It was one of her sons, but he was there. He's like, "I'm gonna make sure you get killed. I'm gonna make sure that And I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Has this person ever shown you a weapon or anything like that?
No. But, I mean, the little kid said it, and then all of a sudden his mom's coming over, and she's banging and screaming. And
Now, I asked you this earlier. You said you can't see out there, but you've only seen her a few times. And was it only her kid that you called a slave, or was there other kids in the
I
neighborhood?
never called anyone a slave.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
Never.
thought you said
No,
sorry for it.
I said I'm sorry for it because I didn't know how else to diffuse the situation.
Okay, so you told her that you did say that, but you're saying that you were saying it to defuse the situation?
Yes, absolutely.
So have you ever called any of those kids?
Never called them a slave, never.
Never said anything about this not being an underground railroad?
An Underground Railroad comment or something like that was mentioned?
No.
We did so many interviews.
Jesus Christ, no.
There was a statement like that made.
All right, that's new to me. I mean, it's completely new to me. I don't know where the hell that came from.
So, Susan, I'm looking at this from the outside here, and this really is not adding up to me. You used the word reasonable and prudent earlier. That's an interesting series of words to use. That's like a series of words that we use as law enforcement officers when we try to look at things. And there's a big jump here that you're making logically that I can't seem to make the jump. I'm having a really hard time getting there. You've known this woman for 1.5 to 2 years. Your only communications were 2 to 3 times. The dog's pooping, and then there was another time where you called her, you said, I'm sorry about calling your kids some names, and she followed behind you. You thought that was creepy. She's never threatened you. She's never displayed a firearm towards you. She starts yelling on your patio area, banging hard on your door, which your door is locked, and then you're scared. Now you're saying that you're scared, which, okay, I can get to that. I can get to that point that you're scared. There's someone knocking on your door.
No, it wasn't knocking. It was pounding.
Pounding. There's someone pounding on your door. Right. There's someone pounding on your door. They're pounding on your door, and I can't get to the point where pounding on the door leads to you being hurt or killed. I can't get.
Because I thought she was going to break the door down. The door, you could see that it was all repaired and re-repaired and all that crap like that. So I never felt that door was secure.
You have an extended deadbolt, and you've never been in any kind of violent situation where someone's kicked in your door or like Kool-Aid Man through your entire wall. There's not been that situation. So I'm trying to do the reasonable and prudent. I'm trying to come into your shoes there, and I'm having a hard jump there because describe to me, AJ, what does she look like?
Tall black woman, heavy set,
Okay. Does she have a very muscular? You've only known her for 1.5 years. You only had so many communications. I mean, is she like a muscular person that's able to, like, I don't know, do extreme feats of strength? Does she weight train in her front yard? Help me understand this.
No, I don't.
That's what I'm trying. I'm having a hard time with this.
He's not being facetious. He's just trying to understand how we got from the point of someone pounding on your door to.
But to get to, she's gonna get through the wall is where I can't get there. I don't understand. What if, and I was thinking about this earlier, what if the police officer had already arrived and she is loud and she's still yelling, and now the officer's standing in front of the door and he does some knocks, but she's still on that darn patio yelling, and you're shooting, you can't see, there's no peephole, there's no window, there's nothing, and then you shoot, and what if the darn officer was on the other side of the door? You see what I mean? And obviously she's still running her mouth, she's still going, but you don't know what's on the other side of that door.
Hopefully he would have introduced himself.
I sure hope so. I mean, and that's what some of the issues are, that I can't get there, and I don't understand entirely what was going on in your mind.
And something that caught my ear, like when we were talking earlier, you had mentioned the words, and I asked you to repeat it because I wanted to make sure I heard you correctly. You had mentioned terminology like reasonable and prudent, in reference to how AJ was acting at your door while she was trespassing and everything. Where did that come from? That terminology? Is that
watching TV?
Watching TV? Okay. Like documentary stuff, or like what?
Probably just crime shows and stuff.
Crime shows. Okay. And I have to ask you this: have you done any research on like the laws as far as like in Florida, as far as self-defense and things like that?
I looked at it today.
You looked at it today?
When I was on Facebook. Just some things that, they had it up on Facebook.
Describe that. What did you, specifically, what you were reading about and learning about?
They said self-defense, and I'm trying to think what the hell else I looked at today. So much crap. Mostly emails. But I just remember saying self-defense, and there was a bunch of lawyers and stuff like that.
So, prior to today, even the last time that you and I spoke on very early Saturday morning, you had used some of that same kind of terminology in describing the situation that occurred at your front door. Prior to today, had you ever done any kind of research like that? And before I ask, let me just say, if we were to look through everything in your phone or your home desktop computer, is there anything kind of research on your internet history that would show that you've done research on like self-defense? Or have you ever heard of the term stand your ground?
Yes.
Have you ever done any kind of research on that?
Yes, when it was mentioned on some guy shot someone at a convenience store, and they said stand your ground now, laws.
Was that like a Florida situation? Because I know every state has kind of different laws.
I think it was Florida. I think it was Florida.
Okay. And when was that?
God, years ago.
It was years ago?
Yeah, that was a years ago thing.
So nothing recent that would be on like your internet browser history?
I just looked it up today.
Right, but I mean other than, basically before this incident occurred at your door, but we're not talking like a couple years ago. We're talking about within the last few months, would there be, because your internet browser, even if you delete it or you go on private browser, if you know, we take a look at those things, because we did go through your phone, the judge signed an order for us to be able to do that. He agreed that there was reasonable enough evidence to be able to do that. So if that were the case, if we were just to look through that, would there show anything that you were looking up, stand your ground or self-defense laws in Florida on the internet?
I don't know. I look up tons of stuff.
Is it a possibility that you looked that up?
Could have been. I don't know.
Okay.
I look up. I just
and the
when I
reason
read
I ask is
articles,
I'm
I
trying
just
to-
go and see why the laws were. You know, so I want to know why. Like if they have an article, what happened in the situation, what you
Well,
know.
Susan, I think you know the reason why I'm asking that question. You're smart, okay? And the reason is...
Oh hell no, no, absolutely. I know what you're thinking. Did I look up the laws so I could do something? No, absolutely.
This is not a
no.
situation where you set something up to because you were
No.
tired of this person, you were
No.
tired of the situation that they put you in.
Absolutely no.
Okay.
Sorry, no.
Susan's responses and behavior during the interview also raised questions about her mental and emotional state. Throughout the interrogation, she repeatedly claimed that she didn't remember whenever detectives pressed her on key details, not to mention how she claimed the incident lasted for 10 to 15 minutes, when in reality, only about 2 minutes passed between the first 911 call and the moment she shot Ajika through the door. This made it even more difficult for investigators to determine if she was actually telling the truth or just pretending really well.
Do you have issues with any kind of previous, from the car accident, I have to ask, a head injury which would impair your memory or affect your memory or anything like that?
I don't remember. I think I hit my head on the steering wheel from the accident.
Okay. Do you suffer time and spatial memory issues where you can't remember a certain amount of time and things like that? And the reason that I ask that is you have indicated that this was somewhere between like 5 to 10 minutes or something. Am I getting that right, Detective Stiff? Okay. From the cameras that we've looked at in the area here, this incident did not last for 5 to 10 minutes. Okay. Now, from the people that we spoke to, there's aspects of this that I can agree about. She's talking loud. She's banging on that door. We're going to agree with that. But the actual number of knocks, you did 3 knocks, and then you said there was a pause.
I never said 3.
Well, you said bang, 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 and then she stopped, which I counted 3. Now,
Okay.
if there was something different, you can tell me. I was remembering earlier. You said bang, bang, bang. There was 3. Then she stopped, and then she continued to, and then what happened. Nothing has led me to believe as an investigator that it was like 5 to 10 minutes, okay?
Okay, maybe it just seemed like it was longer.
Okay.
Probably because, you know, the adrenaline rush and just getting so upset. And
Sure. Whenever adrenaline comes in, it can make things seem like they stretch out. From some of the other statements we've got, some of the things that we've learned, it sounds more like there was 3 knocks and then there was 3 more and then she was shot. It sounds like this was very quick. It sounds like this was like within a span of less than 20 seconds is what I would say. Is it possible that your time is off on this?
it could be.
Okay.
Because to me, it felt like forever.
Okay.
So
if this is like what's being described as a 20-second, this is a brief encounter. It's a brief encounter with loud banging, with loud yelling. The statements that some of the statements that you're saying occurred, like I'm going to kill you, and those kind of threats. No one else has heard you. No one else has heard her make those statements.
Okay.
Okay. I'm worried that some of the prior experiences you've had in your life that we've talked about today, they are traumatic experience. Violence against you when you were a kid, all those people coming and trying to get you, that there's something going on in your head. Are you not sure about some of the things we've talked about today regarding some of the things you're saying that you heard? Is it possible she never threatened you at all?
No, I swear to God, I thought she said, I'm going to kill you. I mean, that's why I just panicked. As soon as those words came out of her mouth, I was like, Jesus Christ, she's going to kill me.
Okay. And how did you imagine yourself being killed? Remembering that there's that block wall, that door, how was she going to be able to do that? What makes you think that she was able to do that?
She was still pounding, but that she could have come right through that glass wall. I mean, the glass door.
Well, we talked about pounding on the door. Did she ever pound on the glass wall? Is it a window or wall? Help me.
It's doors. It's sliders.
Glass sliding door.
Yeah.
She pound on that?
She may have. I don't know. All I kept thinking is she's going to gain entrance. She's going to kill me.
And that's why I asked you earlier if you recalled if she tried to. Was that door locked? The sliding glass door?
Yes.
Was that safe? Do you have like anything?
I
on it?
had. I think there was a wood piece in there.
In the slider?
Yeah.
Okay. And you don't recall if she tried that door?
I just remember lots of pounding.
Lots of pounding.
You know, just to me, it was just an enormous amount of pounding, screaming, yelling, and, you know, I felt like she was going to come through that door.
And I think Detective Pender touched on it. Like in your head, what, you know, during the panic, during all these thoughts, what did you feel that was going to happen?
And she's going to come in there and beat the out of me until I was dead.
Okay.
I mean, that's what I felt. I mean, I don't understand why she came over my house. If there was all these issues and problems, why didn't she just call somebody? You know, that's, to me, that's what you would do if you're normal. You know, and that's a normal thing to do. If something happens to me, I call the police. You know, like, okay, you know, the kids are being run or she's banging it, you know. But when I couldn't find my phone and everything, I was just like, you know, I honestly felt she was going to kill me.
Do you ever sometimes feel as if you get so upset about something, crying, angry, or something like that, that it overwhelms you, that you get overcome with emotion? Does anything like that ever happen to you?
Just trying to think. The only time was with death, but I figured that was normal emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes whenever people get picked on and they get yelled at and they hear yelling and things like that with you, they say things and they do things they don't mean. They see red. That's what some people say. They see red. And I wasn't myself, detective, and they say things like that to me. And I'm trying to understand if some of these kids have triggered you and made you do things and say things that isn't you, is not Susan, is not the person that's sitting in front of me. Do you ever feel like anything like that ever happens to you?
The kids definitely just make me feel, you know, sick. I mean, they just, you know, they call me grandma. They call me Karen. I'm trying to think. They've said horrible things. The other thing was, I'm trying to think of some kind of stupid infection. I can't remember what the hell it was.
Do you say horrible things back that you wouldn't normally, that you're not proud of?
Absolutely. So I just, you know, stop. It's like, stop.
I didn't ask you this before, but I saw inside you have like, it's almost a home office set up.
Mm-hmm.
Do you work from home?
Yes.
You do? So you're all pretty much, you're always there and you're always
Yes.
having to be susceptible to whatever
Exactly.
they do. And now it's summertime.
Yeah,
Everyone's
it's
in
a
school.
nightmare. But I'm very pragmatic. I'm like, you know, if you see the stuff up here and you know this is my front door, why do you keep coming by my front door screaming and yelling? And they're like, you know, it doesn't matter. You don't matter. I had a little black kid come up to me and said, you're white, you're old, no one you have no one in your life, you're not worth anything. So I'm like, great, you know.
What did you tell that person?
I told him we're always alone. Guess what? You come in the world alone, and you know you leave the world alone.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And when you say that, it sounds like you handled that well. When you say that you've said things before that you're not proud of, describe that to me.
I shouldn't have called them names. I shouldn't have said. I should have reined it in a little.
Okay. And then when we talk about racial slurs, have you made those not to anyone in particular? You've just spoken to the air, you've spoken to other people, because there's been multiple different ways that we've kind of been learning about you saying these things. Describe that to me and specifically.
In regards to?
Words like the N-word. that you've said? Describe that to me specifically when you've said that.
I can't remember if I said it or if I didn't say it.
You sound unsure.
Whether it's out of anger or, I mean,
I don't know.
someone's calling you names and you can become kind of overwhelmed with, you're having to hear this kind of thing all the time. And like you said, you might say something that you normally wouldn't say.
I don't remember. I honestly don't remember.
Susan was adamant she had been in immediate danger because of intense banging and pounding on the door. However, detectives soon presented her with crucial findings from the crime scene. During the investigation, officers thoroughly examined the door multiple times to assess whether it had been forcefully struck or was at risk of being broken down. The door showed no signs of impact strong enough to suggest it was being kicked in or forced open, and it didn't even budge under testing.
So I went out to the house that morning, you know, when I met you out there, and I tested the door. First of all, I looked at the door. We processed the door just to see what areas might have been touched by AJ. I looked at the door frame where it had been repaired. It looked like there was a type of putty or something used where the wood frame had been separated. I examined the deadbolt lock. The strike plates were in there pretty fastened, pretty securely. The bottom lock, just the doorknob lock. And even with the door closed, I stood on the outside. There were no indentations, no dents in the door anywhere that I could see. And I pounded on the door pretty hard. And that was with the door unlocked completely. There was no lock secured, and that door was very sturdy. And I'm not trying to take away the fears of being scared and everything, because I think that is a legitimate, scary situation to be put in. But to justify to go from being scared to a point where you're taking deadly force on someone who's standing on the other side of the door and you don't even know where you're shooting at. That's a big jump, and I think that's where Detective Pender is.
It could have been one of the kids standing there or something.
But it was her standing there. I mean, I heard her voice.
Sure, but some people don't talk. They're more quiet.
Regardless of that fact, as I was saying, to go from that, and I didn't even have any locks, and I'm pounding on it. And yes, there were our forensic technicians were inside looking, and yes, things were vibrating. But they also stated that the door didn't seem like it was going to move, and it barely budged, even with the door unlocked. So, and that's why it's important for us to go through these things to try to determine, you know, to try to put ourselves in your position, in your mind at that time as much as possible. But to get that, help us try to understand that a little bit more, to get to that point from a fairly secure door, because like he said, it's true. We've gone to some of these trailers where you could pretty much push the door open, and
that's not your house. Your house is pretty secure. That landlord did a good job, I guess, keeping everything secure. It looked like everything was good. So you've never had a break-in there before, right?
No.
Okay, no break-ins there. There's the rod in the track. Did you have, I know that you still spoke to this woman 2 or 3 times before. Did you speak to her earlier that day on Friday?
No.
Okay, so you didn't talk to her earlier that day, Friday. There wasn't, did you have any conflicts with anybody in particular on Friday at all?
Just the kids when well, it wasn't a conflict. I just told them, come on, and stop trespassing, you know, move along, take it. The kids kept putting things out. They had marbles by my truck. They put their skates out. I tripped over the skate one morning that I had to leave very early, and I'm like, crap. And I'm like, stop leaving your freaking toys here. You know, I'm not the most stable person, you know, with my knees and stuff like that when I'm walking. If I fall again, you know, who the hell knows what's going to happen between my back and my knees and, you know, the other injury. And I don't understand why they just keep leaving their crap there. And I'm like, it's
that sounds frustrating.
It's extraordinarily frustrating.
You said there was a skate. Was there something that happened with a skate on Friday?
When the kids were there, yeah, they keep leaving the skates really close to the house. I'm like, stop already, you know, because when you go around and you do stuff and you're bringing packages in, sometimes I bring the truck up. I'm like, I don't want to walk over your skates. I'm like, pick your damn up. So.
So where were those skates when you picked them up?
I want to say they were maybe 5-6 feet of the sidewalk.
On the grass?
Yes.
Okay. And you took some photograph, or took a photograph of that with your phone?
Yes.
Okay. And there was a video at some point, it looked like you were taking a picture or a video through the screen from you being inside
Yes.
to them outside?
Mm-hmm.
Is that around the time frame that you shot them the bird or something along those lines? Maybe not right. Okay.
Probably.
Okay. Because it looked like there was a bunch of them kind of further out in the field, but there was a lot of kids playing out there, and I
It
guess
was the screaming. You heard
Yeah,
how much
yeah.
they were screaming over the
Yeah.
TV.
Okay, so when you went out there, and one of AJ's kids was out there, and this is around the time frame where you threw the skates out into the yard or something
Yes.
like that. But this is also, so that was what was reported to us from a few people.
Yes.
But also during that time frame was where that tablet situation came up. So is there
I
any
don't
reason?
know what this tablet thing is.
It's like
What-
an Amazon tablet, electronic tablet.
I never saw the tablet, never. He kept saying, "Where's my tablet? Where's my tablet?" I had black.
Oh, so he did ask you
Oh, yeah.
about it, but you
Yeah.
didn't have it.
Of course not.
So you never
I
moved
never
it or
saw
picked
it,
it up?
never picked it, never touched it up, nothing.
Why would he make that part up if?
I have no idea.
Because he said, and it really doesn't change.
Doesn't change.
It doesn't change anything.
Helps
I'm
us
just trying to
understand
understand. He said that he was going to the basketball courts after they played in the field, and he's like, I forgot my tablet, and he comes over and he sees you holding it, and he
I've
says,
never-
put
no,
it down,
no.
and you kind of tossed it down, and then that's when you threw the skates, and one of them hit him in the toe or the foot or
No.
something like that.
No, because they were standing here and I threw it with my left hand.
Okay.
I made sure that I just threw them over to the other side. Never
And that's
touched
when you
each
told him
other.
to fetch or something?
Yes.
You told him to
I
fetch
said, you can
it?
go fetch it over there now.
Okay.
Because he said, give me my skates.
Mhm.
Your skates. I'm like, here, go get them.
You already had them in your hand at that point?
I
He said,
think
give them
so.
to you? Okay. What were you going to do with them?
Just throw them on the other side. Just get them away.
So you don't remember the tablet or anything
It
like
was
that?
never I never saw a tablet, never touched a tablet, I don't know where the hell the tablet came from. So I have no idea.
And then the situation with the umbrella, I know we had talked about it a little bit before, but do you remember who that was out there when, was that when, excuse me, was that when the older, AJ's older came over? What was he saying to you?
That's when he has said, I said, you guys need to leave. He said, I don't need to leave. I can be anywhere I want. I forget what the hell he said. Just something to the effect that I have no limits where I can go. I'm like, okay.
Okay, but he wasn't the one that was there when you tossed the roller skates into the yard? It was the other child?
There
Or do
should
you
have been
remember?
both boys.
Were they both there with the
I'm
roller
gonna
skate
say,
thing?
yeah.
Okay, so when you came out, the umbrella that was behind your door, was that the one?
Yes.
Okay, and what exactly happened with that? Because that's another one of those things where we were talking to people who were right there, kind of, they already heard some yelling and back and forth, so they're kind of watching, and
I may have been talking with my hands. So,
swinging the umbrella?
yeah, just, come on, guys, leave, and
Okay.
gesturing. So
How far away were they when you were doing this?
Oh
And
my
where do you
gosh.
think you were at?
I remember being on the sidewalk, and then they were at least 5-7 feet away from me.
Okay.
They weren't even close.
What did they do when you were swinging it around?
Nothing.
They didn't do anything?
No, there was no reaction.
They didn't say anything? They didn't back away?
I honestly don't recall.
Okay.
It didn't rain on Friday. Why did you have an
I
umbrella?
thought it was raining. We had precip, and I thought when the kids got quiet that it rained finally and they went home.
So that's why you had the umbrella out?
Yes.
It was time for Susan to confront the consequences of her actions and the fact that she was not the only one who would have to live with them. Detectives asked her to write a handwritten note for Ajiki's children, who would now have to grow up without their mother. That's when, for the first time, Susan seemed to truly grasp the gravity of the situation.
All right, Susan. All right, we're gonna have you go with this deputy here.
No,
I'm sorry?
no,
No what?
I can't.
What's wrong? What's going
I
on?
just can't. I'm sorry, I can't do this.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, we're to that point where that's what's gonna happen. Obviously, this isn't a conviction. This is you being charged, and then you're gonna have your day in court to present your side of the story. Okay, so you're gonna go with this deputy.
No, I'm not.
You're gonna be booked in
No, I'm not.
and fingerprinted.
No.
They're gonna take your pictures, and then you will have an arraignment in the morning.
I'm not going, sorry.
There's a phone down there. You'll be able to call whoever you need to call, and right there in booking.
I'm not going.
But Susan, we are going. There's no change in that now. You're under arrest. In fact, we can probably go ahead and put handcuffs on her.
Yeah.
Let's
Come on, Susan,
get you
stand up.
handcuffed.
No,
Stand up.
no, don't touch me.
Susan,
Stand up, Susan.
don't,
No,
Listen,
sorry, I can't
It can
do
go
this.
one
I
of two
can't
ways. It
do
can go an easy way or it can go a really hard way.
this. I'm sorry.
We don't want it to go the hard way.
I'm so sorry. I
Susan,
can't
put
do
yourself in our position. There's no choice in this. You're going over there.
this. I'm sorry, I can't do this.
Susan, you understand that from the point of the story that you've given us, that by refusing and resisting, that it's making you look bad, okay?
I'm
And
sorry,
I
I
understand
just
your
can't.
reluctance
I
to
don't
want to
feel
go.
good. I just can't do
Okay,
this.
well, they have medical staff over there
As soon
that
as
can
you get over
assist
there, there's a
you.
nurse right in the front.
They can, you give them the
can't
prescription
do this.
medications that you're taking, all that. They will assist you in making sure that you get the care you need.
No,
But
I can't
we're
do
going
this.
over there, okay? You're
I
gonna go
can't.
over there and,
I just can't do this.
okay, well,
Come on, Susan, stand up.
if
we
we
don't have time to
Seriously,
debate.
I can't do this.
okay, but do you understand that you're under arrest and you're
I
gonna be taken
understand
to the
I'm
jail
under
one
arrest.
way or another, okay?
I don't care.
Susan,
I just can't do this. I'm sorry.
What you're saying and doing right now is not reasonable.
I know it's not
There's been
reasonable, but I
people-
just can't do this.
So when you say it's not reasonable, that doesn't make sense to me.
I understand. I just can't do this. I'm sorry.
Okay. And this is why we're in this position here, Susan, is because the decisions you make are not reasonable. You make, just like what
I'm
we're
sorry.
experiencing right now.
I'm sorry. I just can't do this. I can't do this.
I've had people sit in this chair that have done things and they get up, they walk out on their own accord. They've done some really bad things. Okay, you're not the only person, but I need you
I just
to.
feel horrible. I can't do this.
Okay, well, we're going to go to the jail. There's no changing this. There's no stopping it.
I don't care. Kill me.
We're not going to kill anybody. We're going to take you to the jail. We'd rather you walk on your own. We'd rather you just walk down there. It'd be so much better for everybody if we could just walk down
Can
there.
you just stand up for me?
No.
So what do you plan on sitting here the rest of the night?
I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to die of a heart attack.
Well, like I said, they have medical staff over there. We want to be able to get you over
The
there.
quicker we get you over there, the quicker someone over there that's in medical can see you.
No, I just can't do
Susan,
this.
this is what's gonna happen. We're gonna put you in handcuffs, and if we have to forcefully bring you out there, that's what we have to do,
do
because
that.
we're obligated
I really don't want
to
to.
take you to the jail now, okay?
Thank you for standing up.
Sorry. I just.
I understand that.
So put your hands behind your back for me.
I mean,
Thank you, Susan.
I didn't do this on purpose. This wasn't a purposeful act. I did not premeditate it. I didn't do anything like that. This is ridiculous.
We're gonna go out this way.
I am so sorry for your loss. I never meant to kill your mother. I was terrified your mom was going to kill me. I shot out of fear.
Susan was arrested and charged with manslaughter with a firearm, culpable negligence, battery, and 2 counts of assault. Following the arrest, deputies reported that Susan experienced chest pain and was first transported to a hospital for medical evaluation before being formally booked into jail custody. The case eventually went to trial, where the jury found Susan guilty of manslaughter with a firearm. She was sentenced with a 25-year prison term. Susan is currently serving her sentence at the Homestead Correctional Institution in Homestead, Florida. This concludes the report from our investigation division at Twinscope Cops. All individuals involved remain presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Thank you for supporting verified and responsible case analysis. Your engagement helps us continue this work, and we invite you to share your thoughts respectfully in the comments.